We've got some good content I feel like we're going to go through, really kind of centering on the idea of how you evolve your customer strategy and how you get your customer strategy integrated into your marketing programs. But as we get started with that, I really wanted to kind of ground us for a second here around the idea of what we see as the three core pillars of activating people-based marketing. And when we think about people-based marketing, really that's the center point of why customer strategy is important. You start to think about who your customer is, what conversation you want to have with them, and in order to enable that, you have to think about it from these three perspectives. One, we believe that you've got to make your advertising more addressable. We started this conversation a couple of years ago with our marketing imperatives that we wrote, really talking about the evolution of people-based marketing. Addressability and the scale of addressable media across both online and offline formats is really the center point of being able to do people-based marketing. The second pillar then really is making your experiences more personal. So the idea that you know who you're talking to and that you're talking to them in a more one-to-one environment means that you've really got to be able to make the experiences that those customers have with your brand or potential customers have with your brand very much about them and very much about a personal nature to that experience. And then finally, once you've started that conversation, you've got to be able to manage that customer relationship over time. And this is really a center point to the idea of how do you connect your upper funnel brand conversation with your lower funnel loyalty, acquisition and loyalty conversation, and start to think about the idea that, many companies divide their groups up into silos about brand development, customer acquisition, customer retention, and then customer win back as an example. We think that you've got to be able to think about that customer over the course of a relationship across time, and that as you start to think about your customer strategy, that becomes the critical component that needs to change inside of a lot of organizations. With that, our perspective is that we've got to put people at the center of your media decision making, and we're going to talk a lot about why and how and where those things have come through in terms of today's webinar. But the first piece is having the right layer of insight into your potential customers, understanding who all is having a conversation with them, what type of conversation they're having, why that conversation is evolving, and what are the needs of those customers that you're trying to serve, and how you in particular stand out against your competition. The second pillar of that then is the strategy and the planning around it. Now, once you know and understand the customer that you want to talk to, how do you plan around getting your communication points out to that customer? How do you react to the things that they're doing? How do you start to think about your media from an evolution perspective? And then finally, you've got to be able to buy the media. And once you buy the media in an environment where you can address it to individuals, you start to see the outcomes of better performance media as well as better business outcomes on the other side of it. It is our firm belief that every form of media is a performance media, whether it's designed to build brand engagement, designed to build product engagement, or designed to maintain loyalty of a customer. And so as you think about that, we think that there is a framework that you have to think about as it relates to the rest of the dialogue today. And everything that we're going to talk about really deals primarily in the top layer of this, which is about your transformation and your customer strategy. But it is founded on the idea that you've got a data and a technology service that enables you to do people-based marketing, and that those three components that exist in the middle there of making your advertising more addressable, dealing with personal experiences, and creating loyalty and building a customer relationship marketing philosophy are the pieces that tie it all together. So as you think about customer strategy at the top end here, you've got to have the ability to push that through the relationship and to enable it through the use of technology and the use of a better strategic approach to your planning process.